In this lesson, we're going to start talking about navigation with the master unit. And primarily, we're going to deal with the scroll wheel. The scroll wheel is the centerpiece of the master unit and is used for navigating throughout the project. So what I want you to do is create an empty Nuendo or Cubase project and import one audio file, like a piece of music, your favorite song. I'm going to use a piece of music from the 50/50 project, the trailer version, the score for that, and import it onto a single track, and then we'll continue and show you how to navigate using the scroll wheel. Okay, so here I've imported a piece of music. I have it on a track, and we can play it. Listen to the score a little bit here. So there we go. Piece of music is playing. Now, to begin with, you can simply use the scroll wheel to move the cursor around the timeline, left or right. Very simple, very quick, very easy. The thing to know about this is that the speed or the distance that you can move the cursor is proportional to the zoom level that you're at. So if I zoom in, and we'll talk about that in a moment, if I zoom in, then the scroll wheel moves far less per rotation than if I'm zoomed out. If I'm zoomed out, one rotation can almost a minute in that case, or more than a minute. And if I zoom very far in, one rotation of the wheel only gets me a few milliseconds. So it's proportional to your zoom level. And speaking of zoom, that'd be the second most important thing. In order to zoom with the scroll wheel, all you have to do is press and hold the zoom key or the zoom button and rotate the wheel. And now you can zoom in, zoom out very quickly. I can get into the microscopic level and back out to the global level very quickly, very intuitive. Now the other zoom function, there's a couple of zoom functions with the scroll wheel. The next one is Alt and Zoom together to increase the track height. So now between that and the horizontal zoom, I can see a lot of detail in the waveform very quickly. Or I can go to a very, very, very small level in just a couple quick rotations of the wheel. And then to take it one step further, let's say we're in an area of low level signal, but I want to see more detail in the waveform. You can use the scroll wheel to increase the height of the waveform. To do that, use Shift, Alt, and Zoom together. And now I'm increasing the waveform height. So now if I zoom in a little bit, I'm getting a lot more detail than if the waveform was down. There we go. You can even see individual samples now. And now when I zoom out, you can see the waveform's very, very amplified. So let's bring that back down to a normal level. Scroll wheel can move around the timeline like this. We can use the zoom key to go in horizontally. We can use Alt Zoom to go in vertically for the track height, and then Shift Alt Zoom for waveform height. Okay, now I've been using Zoom in momentary mode, meaning it only stays active as long as I hold the button. But if you simply tap Zoom, it will stay in Zoom latched mode. And that way I can just spin the wheel and it will continue to zoom until I tap the Zoom key again. So it's in Zoom, it's out of Zoom. If I just press and hold, then it's momentary. And the same holds true for all of the other zoom modes. If I have it in latched, I can do the waveform height, or I can do the track height, depending. The scroll function allows you to move the project window both horizontally and vertically by using the scroll wheel. So if I press the scroll button and turn the wheel clockwise, the project window moves further down the timeline. If I go counterclockwise, it goes back to the beginning, to the left. Now, if you notice, that's independent of the playback cursor. I could be playing the project and the cursor could be moving. And if I hold the scroll button again and turn the wheel, the project will continue to play, but I can move the project window around anywhere I want to without affecting playback. In order to scroll vertically, press the Alt key and the scroll key, and now the scroll wheel will move the project vertically. Another function that affects the vertical navigation of the project is to use the scroll wheel by itself with the Alt key. In other words, no other function is enabled for the scroll wheel, which under normal conditions would move the playback cursor. But if we use the Alt key along with normal scroll wheel operation, you can see that the track selection is being changed, going up and down vertically. You can hear the faders snapping into position as I select the different tracks, causing the faders to bank. So there you go. There's some basic functionality in navigating using the scroll wheel. We're going to have more on navigation in other tutorial videos, so we'll see you then.